The Mayo Clinic is teaming up with NVIDIA to power the next era of AI-driven healthcare as gamers everywhere rejoice. Pharmacists are facing an uphill battle as the demand for weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy skyrocket, and APhA is fighting for pharmacists' right to immunize. That's just some of what we're talking about on today's RX Report. We've got a lot to talk about today, so be sure to smack that like and subscribe button like it owes you money. Leave a comment to let me know your thoughts on our stories today, and let's dive in. The Mayo Clinic. Not a research hub where the creme de la creme of mayonnaise is generated, but instead a leading elite bastion of medical care and research. Thank goodness for that, because a mayonnaise emporium sounds kind of gross. But in addition to being a leading authority in the medical field, the clinic has begun using NVIDIA AI to empower its own artificial intelligence platform to help save lives. For those unaware, NVIDIA might be what is commonly known as a big deal these days. Nerds like myself have been big fans / super poor thanks to the serious gaming equipment that they consistently create. They are also pumping the S&P stock numbers like there's no tomorrow, boasting an insane $4.3 trillion value as of recording. Their CEO Jensen Huang is also a bit of a superstar. But what is this company known for gaming and blockchain equipment having to do with the Mayo Clinic? Well, Mayo's NVIDIA-enabled platform is called Clara, and it's not just some lab experiment, it's been integrated across Mayo's workflows, from imaging analysis to predictive diagnostics. And here's what sets it apart. Rather than sending patient data out to be analyzed, the system brings AI to the data securely on site. It's called federated learning, a kind of decentralized AI that keeps patient information private while still training powerful models. That means that researchers at Mayo and potentially at other hospitals in the future can collaborate on training medical AI without compromising HIPAA or having to ship terabytes of sensitive data across the web. And the applications, think faster cancer detection from scans, predicting disease progression, personalized treatment paths crafted by algorithms that have learned from thousands if not millions of cases. Matthew Kallstrom, MD and PhD, Medical Director of the Department of Strategy and leader of Mayo Clinic's Generative Artificial Intelligence Program, said on the matter, quote, "Our aspiration for AI is to meaningfully improve patient outcomes by detecting the disease early enough to intervene. This could potentially be a huge upgrade for medical science moving forward, but I've got to pass the question to you. What do you think about AI being more ingrained in our medical data? Do you see that as a win or a potential danger? Let me know in those comments." All right, time for a bit of legal drama, and not the fun Phoenix Wright kind where someone yells "objection" in slow motion. If you're an APhA member, you might have seen an email this week from APhA CEO Michael Hogue, the TLDR of which is, it wasn't about CE credits, it's more of a call to action. Because right now, pharmacists' ability to immunize is under some serious legal fire. That's where APhA's Legal Defense Fund, or LDF for those of us who like acronyms way too much, I'm looking at you, every association known to man, including APhA, it's basically our Legal Avengers initiative. Today, through the LDF, in addition to defending pharmacists' right to immunize, we are actively preserving expanded pharmacy-based clinical services, challenging harmful PBM practices, and defending state PBM reform laws. Yes, I know, PBM's the boogeyman of the show. And we are fighting CMS decisions that block Medicare billing for pharmacist-prescribed HIV PrEP. We are already making a difference as, thanks in part to APhA's LDF efforts, we saw the Supreme Court victory supporting Arkansas's PBM law, securing states' rights to regulate PBMs. The LDF supported the measure to eliminate retroactive DIR fees through strategic litigation that helped change Medicare rules and set the legal groundwork to fight CMS's restrictions on pharmacist prescribing, including HIV PrEP care. APhA's Legal Defense Fund gives you a voice in the courtroom. Your ability to immunize, to counsel, to prescribe, even to keep your doors open depends on how we fight these battles together. PBMs and their friends, they've got deep pockets and legal teams, but we've got something better, you. So head to pharmacist.com/advocacy/legal defense fund to make a contribution if you can. Again, that's pharmacist.com/advocacy/legal defense fund. It's like crowdfunding justice if the Fantastic Four wore white coats and carried vaccine coolers. For our next story, you've seen the headlines, you've heard the ads, maybe you've even had a patient ask for it. GLP-1s. These are the hottest prescriptions in town, not just for diabetes, but for helping with weight loss, Alzheimer's, addiction, sleep apnea, and seizures. And at a retail price of $1,000 a month, you could argue that the flexible benefits of these drugs is definitely baked into the price. But here's the kicker. Pharmacists are now warning that this demand is becoming unsustainable. Pharmacists across the UK and increasingly in the US are reporting that they just can't keep up. They're facing shortages, patient frustration, and even professional burnout. And with new guidelines and insurance plans starting to include these drugs for broader populations, the pressure is only growing. And that pressure makes sense. A recent study from the Veterans Health Administration found that GLP-1s lowered the likelihood of dozens of health conditions, with a 10 to 20% reduction in most cases. Now, that may not sound huge, but if you were told you could have a 10% less of a chance of gaining a life-threatening illness, you would probably be tempted to consider it, regardless of your state of health. Because of this overwhelming demand for the drugs, the National Pharmacy Association says that, quote, spiraling demand for weight loss medication risks going far beyond what is clinically deliverable. Because this demand is growing, there may be a need to reserve the drugs for those who are in serious need of it, like diabetics or severely obese individuals, until the supply can grow. And despite the overwhelming benefits these drugs have, they are not without their downsides. Users have found higher risk of arthritis due to loss of muscle and bone mass. The priciness of these drugs are driving up premium costs for employer-sponsored insurance and will potentially add $48 billion to the federal spending budget if GLP-1s are covered by Medicare. So, food for thought. Regardless, this is a defining moment for pharmacy practice. GLP-1s are here to stay. The challenge now is making sure pharmacists and their systems don't break under the weight. Have you been a recipient of a GLP-1 or know someone who has? Were you turned away due to lack of supply? Let me know in those comments. For our next update, did you know that hearing loss affects millions, and now you can play a key role in addressing it? Developed by the University of Pittsburgh faculty, APHA's pharmacy-based OTC Hearing Aids Advanced Training Program offers 3 hours of self-paced coursework to give pharmacists and pharmacy students the knowledge to recognize, intervene, and refer patients with hearing loss. More details are available at the link below. And that is our show. Whether it's supercharged AI reshaping how pharmacists diagnose and treat, or blockbuster meds rewriting pharmacy's workload, I would love to hear your thoughts on anything we talked about today. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's RX Report, where you get your health, your news delivered. Our executive producer is Rob Hodges. Our creative producer and co-editor is Kate Erdmann. And until next time, I've been your host, Mason Manuel. We are off next week, but be sure to tune in the following Friday for more RX Report. But till then, bye y'all.